What's going on, guys? It's Trevor Taylor here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be doing our first, or my first, book review on this channel. And that book is going to be Rich Dad, Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. The book is fantastic. I think the story that he tells about growing up with a rich dad, which is in reality his friend's dad, and his real dad, which is his poor dad, which was a very educated, working for the government type of guy. So he got to see both spectrums of his educated dad, which had the mindset of going through school, going to college, getting a secure job, and then trying to retire when they're like 60 or 70. On the other hand, he goes over his rich dad and how he kind of reversed that, where basically it's a bad way of thinking to try to build your wealth, or try to become better than average. Probably my most favorite part in this book was him discussing developing your financial IQ. And what your financial IQ is, I'm reading my notes down here, is first, accounting. You got to know accounting. They'll talk about in a little bit, talking about like cash flow. 2, investing. What kind of investor are you? We'll talk about that later in this video too. And 3, understanding markets. So seeing trends. That's all about being an entrepreneur, is taking advantage of those trends. So a trend could be social media marketing, or cryptocurrencies, and investing in that. And 4th, the law, because you have to understand that, you might be aware of this, is that business owners take advantage of taxes heavily, and that's a main contributor to how they build wealth, is that you can have certain tax write-offs because the government favors you to have your own business. And also from protection from lawsuits. At that point, talking about like advantages from taxes, I could understand. Protection from lawsuits, I can kind of understand that, but I'm not, I haven't had a lot of experience with, taxes in general. So yeah. It also talks about, going back to the intro of this video, is about, this old mindset of, that you have to go to school, get a secure job so you can, live happily ever after, which in essence, that was a good mindset to have in the 20th century. And now we're in the 21st century, which is an information age. And that old mindset is the biggest probably mistake you can make right now, is to think that, I'm just going to go to college and then go get a job and I'm going to be okay. It's not the case, because what we think as secure isn't as secure as we think, because just like as we saw in 2008, 2009 with people being laid off, and people's 401ks being able to sustain them, it's not the case anymore. I think one of the fundamental things that Robert wanted you to take out of this book, that he went over and over again, which I really, really liked, was talking about the differences between assets and liabilities, as well as talking about your income statement and your balance sheet. Now, if you guys don't know what your income and balance sheet is, I'll show you from my notes here. Right, so your income statement is made up from your income and expenses, pretty self-explanatory. However, your balance sheet is pretty much, you want to balance out your balance sheet. That's, yeah. But basically, you have your assets that make money for you. So we talked about this in my last video, talking about assets versus liabilities. And basically, you want to have more assets than liabilities. And he actually broke it down where, so as you can see, this is a rich dad's financial statement, okay? And he has income and expenses. And I try to represent it so, his income is greater than his expenses. But The more important thing is that his assets are significantly, I'm telling you, significantly higher than his liabilities. This is a huge, I'm telling you guys, the huge difference between the person that is in debt to the person that's, driving the new Ferrari, 8A, okay? He also comes in to differentiate, like what we talked about just recently, to, a poor dad, pretty much his poor dad's financial statement, okay? And as you can see, is that his income and expenses are pretty much the same. And then his assets are very, very small compared to his liabilities, okay? And I thought that was just kind of eye-opening for me to see that, as someone that wants to be building wealth, want to be building financial freedom, is that you need to take the action right now to really look at how much you're spending and how much you get for income, okay? And if you're complaining at the end of the month that you have no income, well, that isn't your job's fault necessarily. It's your fault because you're not tracking it. He also goes into the difference between business owners and employees working for corporations, okay? Now, the biggest thing is that he outlined these steps pretty much like where our cash flow goes, okay? So as you can see here by my fourth grader handwriting, is that business owners earn, spend, and then pay taxes on what they spend. That I think is just fascinating because you can see that from employees working for corporations, they earn, they pay taxes on what they earn, okay, and then they spend. If you guys don't think that's just like awesome, or like not like awesome, but if you guys don't think that's just like eye-opening to see that, hey, on like what the bigger advantage it is to have your own business, it's just huge. I also love the quote that I got from him, is that the key to building wealth is the ability to convert earned income into passive income as quickly as possible. Now, I think, as you guys can probably know around YouTube and about the entrepreneurship genre on YouTube, is that passive income is key, and passive income isn't necessarily easy. It takes a lot of upfront work to get to that point, but it is very, very key. He also, adding to that, he also talks about the 3 types of income, and that is ordinary income, which actually you pay the highest on it with taxes, portfolio income, so that could be like owning stock. You don't actually make money off of it, but once you sell it, you make that capital gain. And then passive income, and passive income is the least taxed. Throughout the book, he preaches this idea that you should work to learn and not work for money, okay? Some people say that, money is time, or time is money, but the point is that, life is time and money is choice, okay? Adding to that, you guys need to, not even just reading, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but you guys need to, put yourself out there and take a couple books from the library and read about financial literacy, and just start absorbing information about how you can start building wealth, even if that means like watching YouTube videos. I don't always recommend watching YouTube videos because I can think that they're not really it's passive learning, I get that, but it's not very like active learning like you are in reading a book and taking notes. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I highly recommend reading this book and many more from Robert Kiyosaki. And remember, keep grinding.